What was missing from the conversation that made you want to add your voice?
Timing. What we need depends on where we are in the history of this country. The topography of this country has changed in terms of how we make a living quite a bit, from agriculture. We went through that phase to the industrial age, to the information age that we're currently in right now. And people have had to retool themselves in order to keep up with trends they didn't choose. Now we're in an era where people of my generation send our kids to school because we trained them to think a job. And we said, if you go to school and you get a good education, you're going to come out and you're going to get a great job. And that was true when I was coming up. But that's not true today. Today you can, am I right about it? Today you can go to school, you can get a great education and come out with a good bill. A whole lot of debt and end up working at Burger King. Nothing against Burger King. But how do we, I have to be careful, brother, like we get sued on the regular. The question then becomes, how do we, with our education and our disappointment, living in our mother's house, sleeping on the couch, eating cereal at noon, retool ourselves so that we can be functional in the 21st century? Mm-hmm. I listen to the argument that our country's having right now. It's hard to listen to. But beneath all of the chatter, the red belt states and the inner cities are crying about the same thing: the lack of opportunity. And we're looking to the White House to solve the problem. And the reality is that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And we need solutions. And this goes beyond, we like to talk in terms of, we have nice terms for it, but it's really black and white, you know, urban and red belt states, really black folks, white folks. But now we're both getting broke. Okay, which is a scary situation. And you've got smart, bright, gifted, talented people who can't find an opportunity. Also in our community, and even in other communities, you have this dilemma of people who made mistakes when they were young. It's some criminal justice issue. And 25 years later, they can't get a job or a place to stay. That's a real problem. So rather than to go get a job, I thought it was important to talk about being a job. You know, yeah, about being a job, about hiring yourself, about the opportunities that exist to create your own reality, your own business, your own company, to be the CEO of you. The CEO.
On the days when you're just not feeling it. Those days when I'm tired or worn out or just basically sick of the grind. What do I do on those days? I go anyways. I get it done, even if I'm just going through the motions. I go through the motions. I don't really want to work out. I work out. I really don't want to hammer on a project. I hammer on the project. Don't really want to get up and get out of bed. Yeah, I get up and get out of bed. Now, these could be signals that you need some time off. And those signals might be right. They could be correct. But don't take today off. Not today. Wait until tomorrow. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Shut that down. Do not listen to that little voice. Instead, go through the motions. lift the weights, sprint the hill, work on the project, get out of bed. Now, as an overall rule, I do not like procrastination. You need to get things done. But if you are going to rest, that is one thing that you should procrastinate on. That's the one thing I want you to put off until tomorrow. And if, when tomorrow comes, you still feel like you need to rest or you need to take a break, then okay. Take it. But the chances are you won't. You won't need that rest. Chances are you will realize that the desire to rest was just weakness. It was just the desire to take the path of least resistance, the downhill path, the easy path. And by simply going through the motions, you overcame that path. And you stayed on the righteous path, the disciplined path. You stayed on the war path, which is right where you know that you belong.
No one will read. Roberto, what's the point of spending all this time in my music if I can't get exposure and the industry is so saturated and everybody's doing my genre and everything? What if you win? What if you're the breakout? What if you have the sound that nobody or what if instead of worrying about being famous for your music, what if you make a crap ton of money just licensing it? Or what if you make a crap ton of money putting it available for free for download on YouTube for YouTubers and you make a crap ton of AdSense? What about that? And what if you don't rely on AdSense and you make a product around your music so that people can get some of it for free and they pay for bundles for the rest? Because that's how I ended up giving hundreds of dollars to Matt Churn. I ended up giving Matthew Churn hundreds of dollars for the background music that I use because he's that good. But I was able to sample some stuff for free, and I would guarantee you that if Matt Churn had 10 free tracks on YouTube, more of you would be handing him money hand over fist for the paid stuff because it's that good. So again, there is no reason, whether it's YouTube, whether it's writing, whether it's podcasting, whether it's music, whether it's your digital arts, you want to be an animator, you want to be a great animator, you want to be a great cartoonist. Fred Gallagher, about what back, I want to say almost 15 years ago, wanted to do his own manga. He did this thing called megatokyo.com with his friend Rodney Caston for free, but put some ads up on his thing for years. Wasn't making any real money, did some merch, blew it up, got a huge community around it, was able to quit his job and make a living off of that, and it still essentially provides for his family to this day. He built a brand, and that was with a webcomic. He didn't even become an animator, and he ended up, Dark Horse ended up printing and publishing the first run of the comics, and then I think Tokyo Pop or somebody picked it up, I don't remember, but he did that 15 years ago in a much more primitive version of the internet. Okay, so whatever you think the reason or the excuse is for you not accomplishing your goals and your dreams, I'll tell you what the real answer is. It's that out of the 30 minutes a day you could spend on it, out of 365 days in a year, you're not prioritizing 30 minutes a day for that. You're taking an extra nap, you're watching a television program, you're watching YouTube videos of other people be successful. You aren't actually doing something. If I didn't make 1,000 videos, I wouldn't be where I am today. And a lot of you, the other thing you're doing is you're comparing yourself. So what if so-and-so did? You know how many of my friends and contemporaries are triple or bigger than me and did 100 videos, 200 videos, 300 videos? I'm not them. I had to do 10 times as much work. Boo-hoo. Oh, Roberto, I have to work twice as hard or 4 times as hard to get the same thing or half as much. Boo-hoo. I sit here and I grind and I wake up every day and I try to do work. I wake up by default trying to do 10 times more work than everybody else. By default. I'm going to say that, and I don't think it's arrogant. I wake up every day because guess what? I don't think I have the raw talent or ability of other people do, so I just work 10 times harder than them. I just produce 10 times as much content. And if I could do 20, if I could go into Dragon Ball Z reference, if I could go into the hyperbolic time chamber tomorrow and just train for a year to be better, smarter, faster, stronger, I'd come out and I'd be happy to work 100 times harder than all of you. I'd be happy to do it. If I could literally stop sleeping, metabolize yellow sunlight like Superman, or do photosynthesis like a bloody plant, and not sleep ever again, and out hustle all of you so that I could just spend for 5 years, 10 years, so I could spend the next 20 just enjoying the benefits of that, I would do it tomorrow. I would make that deal with whatever deity tomorrow. And here's the thing, and I'm not razzing any of you, because guess what? I'm partly speaking to 20-year-old Roberto from over a decade ago, because if I could go back in time, punch myself in the face, and have this talk with my younger self, I would be 10 times more successful.